than the moon and the sun. Be great at what you do, give it all of you, and trust the process and keep your eyes on the prize. I can tell you what I'm seeing. You can have it if you dream it. Just be brave and you'll achieve it all. It all. I wanna know if you really want it, and if you do, then just shout it loud and clear. I wanna know if you really need it, and if you do, then just shout it loud and clear, loud and clear, loud and clear, loud and clear. Shout it loud and clear, loud and clear, loud and clear, loud and clear. Shout it loud and clear.
Hey everybody, good evening. Hello. All right, it's Sunday night, party night here. Good evening. Yeah, it's not. It's a relaxing night. Kind of a stormy night right here in Western New York. All right, gang, good to have you here. Let's get started. I think you gotta hit this button right here. We go. Okay.
Recording in progress.
Right, we are broadcasting on YouTube live stream as well as this is being recorded. This is DayTradeSPY.com's Week in Review, Intro to Trading. And my name is Hugh, along with just myself right now. It is November the 30th, the last day of the month as we head into December. Good to have you here. Hope you had a great weekend, folks. I hope you had a really wonderful weekend here, Thanksgiving weekend. And let's get started. I'm going to just leave you up this disclaimer here, so you can quickly read this and understand that anything we say here and do, it's actually up to you, right? You alone are responsible for all your own trading, and past performance does not guarantee future results. Right, and that, of course, is our standard disclaimer. Keeps us out of jail. All right, let's move along here, folks. There's my, I almost forgot to send this off to myself here. All right, there's my my picture here. You know what? I'm going to just give you back to the disclaimer just for a second here while I actually set up my monitor to. Now we'll just skip it. We'll skip it. Doesn't matter. I know how this works. Okay, so we can review. Please use the questions box for any questions and comments you might have. You'll find that icon on your Zoom dashboard. Just click on that. I'm the only one that sees that, so go ahead and say whatever you want. All right, and we'll definitely try and get to all your questions and comments as we go along. So, all right. So just to let you know who I am, if you are the first time here, let me know that in the questions box. All right, you'll find the little questions box icon on your Zoom dashboard. Click on that, and you get to know that. All right. So just a brief introduction as to who we are. My name is Hugh, and I learned most of what I teach in the trenches trading, and been doing the real training since 2010. Publicly, been teaching people internationally around the world for many years now, in our 17th straight year, which is pretty good. Most people in this business don't last that long, let me tell you. So we look for short-term breakout trades, multiple daily gains. My background is in internal audit. I come from the financial background, but this is what I've been doing now for the last 17 years. So just loving it. I've also traded long before that, but this is we kind of got really serious about it. And I started teaching because people would be coercing me to show them what to do. All right, after they saw that I was making some real serious money on the stock market, and that's where this whole thing started. It was all actually by accident. I never set out, I never set out to teach people how to trade. They just kind of pushed me into it. So, anyway, so what happened was 3 years ago, 2022, we got the attention of Eagle Financial Products, public company under the Salem Media Group, and they bought us out. Made me a deal I couldn't refuse. And then they hired me back. And best of both worlds. Then they brought on John Johnson, brought him out of retirement. He was also with Eagle Financial Products and was a lawyer, still is a lawyer, but he used to be a litigation lawyer in the oil and gas industry in Texas. Super nice guy, very knowledgeable. He sort of did a similar thing with SPY, right? Still making some money on SPY and teaching others. But he's never wanted to retire. Got a wonderful ranch out in Texas, a lot of horses, different things like that. Anyway, he joined in on the trading room. So John and I are now doing the trading room every morning, 9:20 to 10:30 Eastern time. That's what we do. All right. Great guy. I'll tell you, his philosophy is very simple. Take what the market will give you. Take what the market will give you. So tonight we're going to discuss the review of last week, preview of next week, and get ready for our challenges. All right. We're going to talk about the 5 to 50K challenge. And I'm going to go out in the pumpkin patch, do a little chat out there, and anything you might want to talk about and your challenges, give you a 2-minute tutorial, show you how we can help, and I'm going to answer your questions, and get a little contest at the end of it all right? Again, in the questions box, let me know if you are first time here, if you know nothing about options. It would be good to give you a bit of an intro to that. Would be really happy to talk to you about what options are. So I think there are some people right now on the chat box. Let me know. Let me just click a quick look and see who is on the chat box here. All right, good to have you here. Okay, Alex P. We got Bill, Dave, Derek, Angie, Danielle, John, Jeff, a whole bunch of people here. Okay, a lot of people online. Lots of people online. Reggie from Asheville, good to have you on. Yeah, let me know where you are, folks. Let me know where you are. Put up in the questions box where you're located, all right? Um, let me know where you are. Okay, who else you have? Debbie. Okay, all right. Jan, Larry. All right. Priscilla. What's that name? Okay, Vanessa. Win. Wolfgang. Okay. All right, Georgia. Georgia. What else you have? Florida. New York. Michigan. Okay, California's checking in right here. All right, everybody here. Houston, Texas. Okay, Carolyn, Charles. All right, South Carolina. Okay, okay, Derek from Florida, visiting from Thailand. Oh, okay, cool. All right. A lot of our European people, folks, they you know what they do? They actually excuse me, they listen to the recording, right? That's what we're doing. We record this and it goes out and then they check in and they're recording later on. So a lot of the people in Europe right now, it's like what, 2 in the morning. They're not going to chime in. So, all right, Gene from New Jersey, Colorado, Bill, I got Michael from Virginia. All right, cool. Folks, don't forget, of course, Spy in the Market. This is our weekly newsletter that goes out. All you have to do to subscribe is go to our website. It's a free newsletter. It goes every Thursday. It's a brief 3-minute read, light, relevant, and entertaining. It's actually entertaining, yes. And all you have to do to subscribe, go to our website, DayTradeSPY.com, and just click on the link when the box comes up, and that'll get you subscribed. Now, if you don't want to subscribe, you can still go to our website, which is DayTradeSPY.com. Let me just pull that up here, all right? And I will show you where you can actually read our newsletter. In fact, go back to the old, this is our newsletter right here. I get it. I know. But go up here to the top here. See where it says Spy in the Market? And just put your cursor on that. Click on newsletters. All of our old newsletters, I think it's like about 120 of them or something. They're all listed down here, and they're all pretty cool. All right, we talk about everything under the sun here. This is it. So yeah, all right, there we go. They're all there. So much to be thankful for. That's the newsletter that just went out last Thursday, a couple days ago. So, all right, and you don't have to subscribe, but if you want to subscribe, just go to the website when your little pop-up comes up. Leave us your email address. This way, you will get it delivered right into your inbox every Thursday. This week's topic, I mentioned this last week: 90-90-90 rule of trading. This is the week we're going to have this one because last week we had the Thanksgiving edition. All right, so this week it's going to be the 90-90-90 rule of trading. And that's something like 90% of the people lose 90% of their money within 90 days. We'll talk about that, which is why you need us. All right. All right. Also, Vancouver, Canada checking in. Okay, the bunch of people here for the new for the first time trading options don't know what options are. So let's take a quick run over there to just give you just a brief primer on options, folks. A brief primer on options. If you already know what options are, just stick around here for a few minutes as we go over this. What are options? All right, this is what we do. We trade options on SPY. That's all we do. One stock, one strategy, 1 hour a day. Options are actually contracts that give the options holder the right but not the obligation to trade the underlying stock for a certain date by a certain price. Now, don't get too bogged down in the terminology. Just understand that when you get to your platform, there'll be some tabs up on your platform. One will be maybe equities or stocks. Another one might be futures. Another one might be Forex, right? Foreign exchange. Then don't look for the one that says options. That's the one that you're going to be trading. Now, there's a ready market for us. Not like you got to go find your friends. Oh, do you want to buy my options? Not at all. There'll be a ready market right there to buy any options that you have to sell, and for you to buy any or for you to sell any options that you have. Now, there's only two names you need to know. All right, two names. These names you're going to know these better than your own kids. Okay. All right. So when I think of my kids, I think, what are the names again? But you'll remember calls and puts. If you expect the stock to go up, you buy call options. If you expect the market to go down, you buy put options. Call up, put down. That's all you need to know. Options, again, this is just a very brief primer. This is not at all an extensive lesson in options, just a very brief overview of what options are, how we trade them, why we trade them. You'll find a strike price. All of these options, it's called an option chain, and that has a stock price attached to it. Now, this is the price at which the stock, the underlying stock, can be bought or sold for if and when the option is exercised. Now, we do not want to exercise our options. I have never exercised my options. We just want to trade them. All right, trade them. And there's going to be an expiration date. Again, we don't want the underlying stock. The stock is expensive and been there, done that. I'm sure many of you have too. Okay, wow, you got a stock certificate. What are you supposed to do with this? All right. By the way, if anybody wants some stock certificates, I'm sure I got a whole bunch of old useless stock certificates from way back. Anyway, not much value, right? Some of these things, but they have an expiration date. This is the date at which the contract expires. Okay. And there's a lot of things. There's a few things underlying Greeks. I have not sort of put onto this webinar here, this presentation, but we have things like delta, which is the relationship between the underlying option, the option and the underlying stock. You'll find that, and there's also theta, which is a time component to an option. So the more you hold on to an option, it's like buying an ice cube; it melts on you. There's a time component. There's volatility attached to it, right? If the market is a little bit unstable, people want to protect their position, so there's a value attached to that, and that's what you're paying for. So I haven't put these terms into this brief presentation, but just know that there are some these what they call Greeks attached to these options, and again, this is just a very brief overview, right? And if you want to get into something deeper, we do have training courses and whatnot. So anyway, some real pros and cons to options trading. The pros, of course, a lot of flexibility, very cost efficient, huge leverage. You don't need this underlying stock to move very much for the option to move. I would say it's probably about a 10-to-1 ratio. In other words, if the stock moves a buck, the option might move 10 cents. But I'll show you in a minute why that's really important. You get a very high return potential. Now, you might be talking to some options traders, and they're going to come back to you and say, well, I made 50% of my options yesterday, or I made 100% or 80% or 20%. That's probably very true. That is not only possible, but we do that sort of thing a lot. You'll hear that a lot where that happens, okay? That happens. Many strategies available. I'm not suggesting my strategy is the only one, but it works extremely well for me. And once you find a good strategy that you like that works very well for you based on your temperament, your style, your everything, right? The way you like it, stay with it. Okay, stay with it. And I find options to be very fun, very exciting trading. I've been doing this for many years. I can honestly tell you that I look forward to getting up every morning. All right, even now. I can't think of another job where I've ever enjoyed getting up in the morning after doing it for 15, 20 years straight, where I still enjoy it and wanting to get up and do it every morning, right? Most of us, I think if we had an old job, so even it doesn't even matter what it is, you feel like, oh, I got to go to work, I got to go to work. I know everybody right down from doctors all the way down to lawyers. I'm just kidding about that. I say that because John's a lawyer. I don't even know if he's on right now. I don't think he's on. And I know a lot of people, all right? And after 10, 20 years, they get a little tired of the job. They just want something different. Not this cowboy, all right? I enjoy it. I enjoy getting up. I enjoy challenging the stock market, beating the stock market, making money, and being in the trading room for an hour and a half, right? I mean, it's awesome. I mean, it really is awesome. There are some cons to options. Number one is the time decay. The way we trade, there is this element of time that you are going to lose just holding on to this contract, right? You also have some commissions, but the way we trade, we actually have some pretty minimal commissions. I like to use Tasty Trade as my platform of choice for minimal commissions. So all the big trades that I do, I'll use a Tasty Trade because their commission structure is $1 a contract to open, 0 to close, up to a maximum of $10 a trade. So if I'm trading 100 contracts at a time, my commission's $100. Sorry, $10, $10. I also like to use Schwab Think or Swim because they've got superior charts and indicators. And I also trade with them simply because I figure if I use their charts and demonstrate their charts, I should probably give them a few bucks as well. Um, Options can be risky. I'm not going to kid you. Options are contracts, they expire. They can be very risky. And if you don't know what you're doing, you will lose your money. That is one ironclad guarantee that I'm going to give you. All right. There's no guarantees with options except one that it is risky. And if you do not know what you're doing, you will lose your money. So what do? We day trade options on SPY, period. That's it. I like to get in and out very quickly. I do not like to sit and hold. I don't want to do any swing trading or position trading, nothing like that. I just want to figure out which ways are going to go today. Get in, get out, make some money, and get on with the next trade next day, right? All we trade is SPY, SPY. This is the stock. It's a spider stock that follows the S&P 500. Essentially, where the economy goes, right? The top 500 stocks, that's where SPY is going to go. So the highest traded stock out there, it's affordable, very liquid, exciting trading, huge profit potential. Now, real quick, I just want to mention this here. It doesn't take much to get into this business of options trading. You don't need a whole lot of money. All right, I'm going to show you, and I'm going to even show you trades that I had done this last week. All right, it's also very liquid. I have traded over $100,000 in single trades in the past. I don't do that anymore, but I have, and I got filled in. I probably might have waited a minute to get filled on $100,000 of contracts. Okay, and whatever you can throw at SPY, it will deliver. Okay, SPY is very resilient that way. You're never going to get into like a Roach Motel that you can get in and you cannot get out. SPY has huge liquidity, the highest traded stock out there, right? And there are days it's over 100 million shares a day. That's huge, right? It's also very exciting. It's very exciting. Adrenaline rushing trading is it's actually a very exciting thing to do. It's also very addictive. I should put that in the cons. It's a very addictive kind of a thing to do, all right? But the profit potential is absolutely phenomenally huge, all right? So let's take a look and see. One stock, one strategy, 1 hour a day. Over the years, folks, we figured out what works and what doesn't work in both trading and training, all right? And that's really important because it's not just trading that's important, but it's also how you can, how you can transfer that knowledge to people like yourselves. All right. So what do we do? Well, again, SPY follows the top 500 stocks. Efficient use of analysis time. The moves are quick. You can earn your daily gains fast. All right. And SPY is fairly reliable. It's also consistent, predictive, and forgiving. And prices can be anticipated in any market. As a matter of fact, we can make money both going up and down, and that's pretty cool. It doesn't have to go just up. Now, I personally prefer call options. I prefer call options, but I also make money to the downside. If I believe the market is going to go down, I'll take a position on puts, make a few bucks, and get on with the next trade. All right, so SPY, well, why not? Learn something new. Stay mentally sharp. I can't tell you, all right, I'm 70 years old. Many of my friends, all right, many of my friends are now retired from their respective jobs that they do. And I gotta be frank with you. You know, if they don't have something to keep their cognitive skills intact and do something with their time, they tend to die early. One gentleman I know actually was a factory worker. He retired. They pushed him out at I don't know how old he was, 65 or something. And 6 months later, he dropped dead. He had no hobbies, no anything. It's almost like he had no reason to live. I don't know what happened. He just I was going to say he woke up dead. He didn't wake up. He died in his sleep. Horrible way. It's a horrible thing to do. I find that trading options keeps you mentally alert. All right. And I really like that. So, and this is what else I like about it. You earn while you learn. By the way, I should also mention to you, I tend to speak a little bit too fast at times. If you find that's the case, please tell me to slow down in the questions box. All right. But anyway, you earn while you learn. So you can do this and actually make money along the way here. Time passes by anyway, so you might as well make money along the way, right? It's actually pretty cool. Um, the profit potential is absolutely phenomenal for serious traders, and I'm going to get into that in a little bit here. You can actually, achieve your dream lifestyle. I know people that have, I can't tell you what to, people have bought boats, they've bought airplanes. Good friend of mine, Chris. Chris, is he online? I had the pleasure of, I don't think he's online. Doesn't surprise me. This gentleman, he's a pilot. Wonderful guy. He's a pilot for, can I mention this? NetJets, all right, the corporate jets. And the other day he flew up to Buffalo, landed, called me up. Actually, I knew he was coming earlier in the day. In the morning, he said, "Hey, Hugh, you on for dinner tonight? So, you coming up?" Yeah, absolutely. So I met him at the airport a little over after 4 o'clock. Took me for a tour of his jet, and it's pretty cool sitting in the captain's chair there and stuff. And we didn't go up or anything, but this is the kind of low life you hang around with, right? But I'll tell you this, we had a blast. We went up for dinner, caught up. We had, I think, a 2, 3 hour meal, and just had a blast. Whenever he comes this way, he lands, we go for dinner. But there are a lot of things. I mean, from trading, I bought an airplane, bought new cars. I live a nice lifestyle, you know. Um, Recently, my wife and I took a European trip, 2 weeks, and we're also planning our next one, and that's what happens. But folks, exciting, very thrilling to beat the market. But here's the real good thing about this thing. You can actually pass this knowledge on to your kids for financial security. Now imagine, all right, imagine this world when, you have a job and your kids have a job. They graduate out of college. What are they going to do? I think recent numbers I saw, I think it was 1 out of 245, 246 applicants get a job interview. Now, this is a broad spectrum, but let's face it, whenever there's some job opening, you are competing against thousands of people and literally thousands of people from around the world, right? Because people travel and they're willing to relocate for jobs. A job may not necessarily be what you want when you graduate from college. JOB, it's an acronym. JOB, it means just over broke. All right, you're always going to be behind the eight ball with the job, right? You're never going to have enough money to do the things that you really want to do. You're going to save. What's the other thing I heard? The average age now for first-time homeowners, home buyers, is what, 45, 48 years of age or some ridiculous thing. Um, with options trading, you can actually jumpstart that whole thing, start ramping up your income and make a lot of money in a very short period of time. Both of my kids, they know how to trade. All right, my daughter, and again, this is a kind of a nice Sunday night gathering where we just sort of sitting around, talk about things and lifestyle and stuff. So my daughter, after graduating college, she never was much of a traveler. Right? We used to kid her all the time. She had a friend in Rochester, an hour down the road. We kid her when she went to go see her. She said, well. We'd kid her and say, "Well, who's your travel agent?" But after college, she announced that she wants to go to Thailand and teach English as a second language. Never really believed her until I'm driving her to the airport, and there she is, tickets in hand. Dad, I'm going. Here it is. Oh, you're going. I can't believe it. Thank goodness, for FaceTime because we're able to FaceTime each other, 12 hours difference. Um, and they don't teach, they don't pay you well when you go on these little jaunts here. They give you just enough money to survive, but it's the experience that you're going for. Anyway, she absolutely loved it. But while in Thailand, she'd also visit these other countries, Vietnam and Myanmar, and going to different cities and stuff. And I'd always ask her, so Lex, how are you for money? You need some money? She'd always say, oh, no, no, Dad. I know how to trade. I've got my account. The American dollar goes really far in this part of the world. Not a problem. I'll just go make a couple $100 and I'm good. And she did. Same with my son. He's an engineer, but he still trades. He still trades. I think he makes most of his money trading. So anyway, you can teach this. It's very comforting for me as a parent that I don't have to worry about my kids. It's very liberating. I don't have to worry about my kids' future because there's no guarantee in the future. And you know as well as I do now, you could be in a company for 25 years, 20 years, 10 years, doesn't matter. They'll give you the golden handshake. Here's your watch. Get lost. We found somebody who can do it cheaper, faster, more efficiently. By the way, they're overseas. You know what it's like. Anyway, listen, folks, let's move on. Let's move on. So here's the difference between stocks and options. And this is why I wanted to tell you this. If you were to buy 100 shares of SPY these days, this could cost you about $684 a share. You're going to be investing $68,400. That's a lot of money, yeah, especially for a lot of the people online here. They just might not have that kind of money, right? So if you were to buy a single option that controls the same underlying shares, okay, the same underlying shares, it could cost you maybe $300. If one contract costs you, say, $3, so one contract, three, because it controls 100 underlying shares, it's going to cost you actually $300 for a single contract. For the sake of this demonstration, I'm not considering commissions, all right? So we're going to exclude commissions. So now, let's say the stock rises $1. Well, now your equity in your stock would be $68,500, right? But if the stock moves $1 and at this option, excuse me, which would have at this position would have a delta of about 50, which means for every dollar the stock moves, the option moves 50 cents. Well, guess what? Your option now is worth $350. So you invested $300, the stock moved a buck, now your option's worth $350. Well, and by the way, this happens very quickly, sometimes in the matter of a couple of minutes. Look at your return on investment, folks. If you're holding the stock, you just made actually a little bit under 0.15%. 0.15, not 15%, 0.15%. You've invested all of this money. And by the way, you're still risking all that money. Now, granted, SPY is never going to go down to zero. But if you're holding, say, an option of some other company, it could. Ask the people back in 2008, 2009 what happened to the General Motors stock, right? Bear Stearns, all right? Some of these other companies, the banks, right? However, look at the return on investment on the option. A whopping 17%. Well, which would you rather have? I think this young lady here says, well, it's pretty obvious here. Give me the 17% in a couple of minutes, having invested only $300 versus $68,400 any day, right? Any day. All right, so folks, one stock, one strategy, 1 hour a day. Learn from our mistakes. All right, you're not going to live long enough to make them all yourself. All right. So with that, let's go back to looking at the week in review. This here is the chart of the week. Here's what happened last week on the stock market. Well, Monday, the markets closed sharply higher with increased confidence in the Fed's cutting interest rates. All right, there's more chatter about cutting interest rates. We actually, in the trading room and in what we do with DayTradeSPY, we actually had 9 wins. All right, no losses, no holds, nothing like that. On Tuesday, retail sales and PPI reports came out, all right? Producer price index, right? These favored rate cut predictions, up to 83%. Right, that's what the futures were slated to predict a favorable rate cut, interest rate cut prediction. That sent SPY a whopping 0.9% higher. We had 10 wins, 2 losses on Tuesday. Excuse me. On Wednesday, the markets rose for the fourth straight day ahead of Thanksgiving, on track to be the best week since June. We actually came in with 12 wins. Markets were closed on Thursday and on Friday. Interesting day on Friday. First of all, the markets were only open until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But what happened? The CME, right? Chicago Mercantile Exchange had some technical outage. So it limited trading on futures and options. And what happened was we had low volumes and also really high bid-ask spreads. And I recommended in the trading room, not going to trade today on this. And we are watching it for about an hour or so, and it did not improve. So we wrapped up early on Friday. There's no trading due to the ultra high risk, especially on the bid-ask spreads. So what you do, you don't want to get into an option. Again, if you're paying, say, $3, but you can only sell it for $2.60 or $2.80, that's a very high bid-ask spread. Personally, I at that rate, I don't mind a bid-ask spread of maybe 3 or 4 cents tops, preferably 2, 3 cents, but definitely not 5, 10, 15, 20 cents. So for that reason, we did not trade on Friday. Okay, so overall, it's a pretty good week for us. All right. So here's what happened: the S&P is on track for a third consecutive year of double-digit returns. Recession fears are not facing. They are not facing. They are fading. Who wrote this anyway? Should have checked this. They are fading. They are fading, fading. Let's spell this right here. All right, fading. Here we go. Recession fears are fading. There's solid consumer spending going on. Forecast appears to be, believe it or not, a very robust holiday season. Retail sales are expected to rise 4% from last year, surpassing, believe it or not, $1 trillion for the first time. Ongoing economic growth providing a solid background for corporate earnings. That's what's driving the markets. And AI, artificial intelligence. Those trends remain durable to serve as a positive market catalyst, especially after the NVIDIA results here a week or so ago. We thought that we're in the top of the bubble and it's going to burst, and here we go. But no, AI and NVIDIA, the leader, very positive, kept things going, and we continue to go to the upside. Fed Reserve policy resumed its easing cycle towards a less restrictive stance. They are now pretty much online for, at least most of them, for a rate cut coming up in December. Corporate profits remain the key driver of market returns, and after a brief wobble earlier this month, the S&P 500, believe it or not, finished with a slight gain. Here's a chart looking at corporate profit growth, key driver of market returns. All right, we see the S&P 500 forward earnings estimates, and it continues to go to the upside. Very high corporate earnings. We had an excellent earnings season this last season, and we had some really good growth from 2021. Had a bit of a pullback right here in 2022, 2023, but markets continued back to the upside. So I think COVID may have had something to do with that. Here's a chart with the Fed's easing cycle. As they resume, they're bringing their interest rates down. They just step it down slowly. Inflation is creeping higher. The Feds are looking uh, to hammer inflation down to 2%. That is their goal. All right, but they're sort of okay with this, a little bit higher inflation. It seems like it anyway. Seems like they're not too bad with that. So anyway, we are still looking at another rate drop here in December, and if that happens, the stock market will continue to rise. All right. There's an inverse and direct relationship between interest rates and the stock market. Okay. All right. S&P 500 rose 3.7% this week, coming up to 16.4% year to date. Nasdaq still leads 21%. That's because Nasdaq has all the tech stocks, right? Tech stocks are very highly overvalued. And whenever you see movement going either way, you'll see the results first on the tech sector, the Nasdaq. If this were to drop, you'll see the drop mostly on the Nasdaq first. We had a very good week here, and Nasdaq rose almost 5%. The Dow's just kind of hanging in there. The Dow Jones still 12.2% year to date for this year. All right. Here's a look at the seasonal charts. All right. This is a look at the seasonal charts for those who don't know. The blue line is where SPY is now, and the red line is the average of the last 5 years closing price on the daily chart. So now, if we focus in a little bit closer, you'll see that SPY historically rose 1 point over last week and seasonally rose about 2 points the following week. So we're still very much on an uptrend. As a matter of fact, I believe we're probably going to be getting into the Santa Claus rally. This is an end of year rally where a lot of the fund managers, they go to rebalance their funds by the end of the year. We have a lot of spending, right? Consumer spending is up. So I expect the stock to continue to the upside for the rest of this week. As far as news is concerned, folks, this week we have the ISM Institute for Supply Management manufacturing PMI report that is coming up on Monday, and I'm a stickler for syntax here. Manufacturing. There, let's get rid of the space. There we go. Okay, got the space out of there. ISM Manufacturing PMI report on Monday. We've got Tuesday, not much. However, Fed member Michelle Bowman speaks before the House Financial Services Committee. And now that could be pretty major. We're going to see what she says and what questions are going to be posed to her. On Wednesday, we've got non-farm, not frame. Oh, man. I don't know what's going on here with me. I must have been half asleep here. Non-farm employment change. Standard & Poor, right? S&P Global Final Services PMI, ISM Services PMI report on Wednesday, unemployment claims on Thursday, and Friday personal consumption expenditures. Now, this is the Fed's main indicator that they use to determine whether to keep rates the same, lower them, or increase them. So this is actually coming up Friday. Now, the funny thing is, last week they had this PCE indicator scheduled for this last week. Suddenly it fell off the schedule, but now I see it's back on for Friday. We also have University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Report, and also an inflation expectations report coming up on Friday. What does this all mean for volatility? Well, we expect it to be high on Monday, high on Monday, medium on Tuesday, and high on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. High on Monday, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Expect to make money on all of those days this coming week, and I'll show you how in just a little bit. My good friend Daphne here, she says we have the opportunities. We find the opportunities, how to spot them, and show you how to trade them. There she is with her magnifying glass. Cute little chick there, isn't she? Gosh. Do you know she hasn't aged at all since I started bringing her on here a few years ago? So, all right, folks, won't you join us? If you're not in the trading room, you really ought to be. All right. Let me explain the trading room a little bit here. But first, I want to tell you, coming up in January, we are going to be doing our next 5 to 50K challenge. This is something we do exclusively in the trading room every morning. All right. If you're not in the trading room, I'm going to tell you, you can go to the website and buy the trading room subscription. However, that's going to be very expensive. So the thing to do is contact customer service at DayTradeSPY for the best deals on all of our products. Tell them what you're interested in. They'll come back to you and say, okay, well, we got a special on this, special on that. You'll want to get in the trading room. I believe it's like $6.77 for a quarter, which is pretty well the price of I think it's like a half a Subway sandwich a day. Next to nothing, right? Not too early to get into this. Now, I got to tell you, what we did here, we did turn 5 to 50K. Uh, we did this program in 2025. The goal was to do it from January to the end of the year. We actually did it by, I believe, the middle of September. We actually ran it up to the 50K by the middle of December of September. But we're going to do this again starting in January. And again, this is something we're going to be doing in the trading room itself. And I'm going to give you the rules to our program next week. So make sure you check in next week. I'm going to give the rules with which we are going to follow, and just follow those rules, and you should be able to trade along with us in the trading room and start with $5,000 and turn it into $50,000 by the end of next year without breaking a sweat. All right, I'm going to give you our 2-minute tutorial. Here it comes right now. This is our 2-minute tutorial. This one's going to be on patience and how to hone it. Want me to wait for you? Will I get caught up on this? Patience, patience. Just kidding about that, folks. So last week I talked about discipline. This week I'm going to talk about patience. You need to keep an eye on the bigger picture. Always keep an eye on the bigger picture. By that I mean look at the bigger charts. Look at the fundamentals. What's the news coming out? Is the news in favor of lower interest rates staying the same? It's all about interest rates. Any major news items? Is Trump going to settle? I believe, what is this? His eighth war, ninth war? Um, is he, is any of this world peace going to come to fruition? What's going on with tariffs? Well, all these fundamentals, right? Keep an eye on the bigger picture, but trigger on short-term time frames using our indicators. Now, for me, frankly, my longer-term time frame is 5 minutes. I like to trigger off the 1 minute chart for my scalps. I like to scalp. That's my strategy of choice, scalping. All right. But before you get into a trade, have your exit points ready. Know when you're going to get out of the trade. Is it going to be when you hit a certain target? Is it going to be when the stock goes up to a certain point? Is it going to be when the stock hits a certain major resistance point? Are you going to wait out until, well, see, I got a feeling it's going to hit this pivot point by 11 o'clock. You're going to wait until then. Make sure you know when you're going to exit. All right. You can't know where you're going to go unless you kind of have a map. If you don't know where you're going to go, you may not get there. Wasn't it Yogi Berra that says something like that? Have your exit points ready. And also on the downside, should something go horribly wrong, know kind of how you're going to get out of that, if you are going to get out of it, or what you're going to do. Now, I don't like to get out of trades, okay? I'll be honest with you. I don't use stop losses. To me, stop losses never really worked well in options trading. Some people like to use them, and when I did use them, I found that I got stopped out way too often, which is, I guess, what is supposed to happen. However, what would happen is I'd wait for another 5, 10 minutes, and the stock would always reverse and go back. And I thought, oh my gosh, had I stayed here another 10 minutes, I'd be in profit, right? Does that ever happen to you? Right? Um, have your exits ready and follow through when they hit. Do not be lured into overstaying your welcome in any one trade. All right. I like to get in and out quickly. I really don't like to stay in for a long period of time. And if I do, then my goals tend to change. Instead of maybe looking for 10 or 20 cents, I might say, you know what, I'm tired of this trade. I don't want to see it anymore. Just give me a break even or give me a couple cents or something and I'm out of it. Um, if you ever feel that irresistible urge to be in a trade, all right, uh, and these are those emotions, right? We have fear, greed, that's the big one, ego, that's a big one, right? Nobody likes to admit they were wrong. But there's other emotions too, FOMO, fear of missing out, right? There's this party going on and you're not invited. You're on the outside, you're in the window outside looking in, everybody's having fun. You want to be there, right? Fear of missing out. That's a big one. And also YOLO, you only live once. Oh, I got all this money. I'm going to throw it all in there because I think it's going to go up and I'm going to make a kill. And maybe you will, maybe you won't. And here's the thing. If you do make a kill, you're going to do it again and again until you blow up your account, right? It happens. It happens. So you got to, consider this. If you feel the urge to get in, but something's not quite right, your little checklist isn't all checked off, right? All right. As a pilot, we use checklists. And and if we miss something, right? uh, Carburetor heat or something, yeah, well, that could be not good. Okay. I once had a situation where I forgot to check the doors to make sure they are locked. So here we are, 1,000 feet in the air, and all of a sudden my door pops open. A little disconcerting when your door is, open, and oh, okay, I'll reach out and close it, right? Just don't look down, right? Not a good idea. Believe me, it's on my checklist now. Anyway, think of this. If your setup is not quite there, you're not quite, it's just not there yet, all right? Resist the urge. Just think about this. Think about how you will feel should the whole market, go south on you. Now you're stuck in this trade and you're wondering, well, why did I do that? Why didn't I not wait for that one other indicator I needed to confirm my trade, right? All right, so it's better to not be in a trade wishing you were than to be in a trade wishing you weren't. Just wait. Just wait and enter on the next setup if need be. The market gives you opportunities all day long, every day, multiple times. The market is actually your best friend, not your adversary. All right. You'll find that the adversary, believe it or not, is the person in the mirror. That's your number one. That's the number one adversary. That's the person that's the thing that you have to fight. Those emotions. That guy in the mirror, gal in the mirror. All right. When you look back at the end of the day, and you look at the charts, you see, look at this. The market gave me this opportunity, that opportunity, up, 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 down, 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 up and down, all day long, right? Then celebrate those small wins. Believe me, they add up. Let me explain something to you. Folks, let me ask you a question before I don't want to bore you, but do you want to see my trades of the other day here? I got a bunch of trades here. Right. Do you want to see the trades? Okay. Who's the new girl? Her name is Angie. Angelina. Angie. Nice girl. You just can't beat Daphne. Okay, thanks for that, John. Okay. He wants to name her Bella. Okay. Yeah, let me know if you want to put in the questions box, folks, if you want to see my trades. If not, I'll move along without them. I want to bore you with my trades. Okay. Okay. Yes, 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 of course. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. So, okay. There's enough yeses. All right. So, okay. So here's what happened. So, okay. Last few weeks, I've been showing you what I traded on Friday. A couple days ago, this Friday, I did no trades on Friday because the market was not good, as I mentioned, right? Thursday was closed. So here are my trades for real trades Wednesday, November the 26th. Okay. Wednesday, November 26th, real trades, real money. Here's using Schwab Thinkorswim on this particular day. All right. So I knew I was going to show you. I only did the standard default 10 contracts. That's what these contracts are here, 10 contracts. The green lines show where I bought them. The red lines show the sales, all right? The buys and the sells. Over here on the left, I've got the dates and the times of the trades. And these are the fills, 10, 10, all these various. So some of these got filled in various stages, one contract, two and five, sold all 10 at once. So I'm opening the position when I buy them and I'm closing the position when I sell them. Buy first, then sell, calls and puts. We do not do any spreads. We do not do any naked positions where we do not own the underlying stock to sell the calls or puts on them. None of that, okay? And I did all the following week's expirations, which is December the 5th. So I had roughly 9 or 10 days in each of these options, which explains why the price of these is so high. All right, so I took time on my side. Now you're paying for time, right? You're paying for time, but don't worry about it. You can either buy fewer contracts if you don't want to pay that much money, or what you can always do is, I mean, you're going to get the money back, right? You're going to get the money back. So here's what we did. Let me go over this first, all right? So my first trade, 589 to 605 right here. This was in 1 minute, 931 to 932. Yes, I put in $5,890 invested. I made $160 in 1 minute. My second trade, 612 to 625 in 1 minute, right? 1 minute and 1 second, to be honest with you. $6,120 invested, $130 gain. The next trade. I picked up 20 cents right there in 69 seconds, 1 minute and 10 seconds, or 9 seconds. $6 to 620, invested 6K, I made $200. This next trade I bought in for 626 out at 640. That was a 2 minute trade, 943 to 945, right? Actually, a little bit less than 2 minutes. I injected $6,260 in the trade. I made $140. Trade number five, 594 to 597. This took 10 minutes. Okay. And I didn't feel good about the trade. I didn't like it. I really didn't like it. I just wanted my money back, so I sold it for just basically a $30 gain. And by the way, the option went higher, the stock went higher after this, and I stayed with it. But I just got tired of watching this after 10 minutes. I'm out of it. I'm out of it. Sorry, is that right? I don't think that's right. 9:40. No, sorry, that should be 1 hour. 1 hour. That's not 10 minutes. That is actually 70 minutes. I thought those wrong. 70 minutes. Okay, let me get this right here. Again, 70 minutes, 1 hour and 10 minutes. Okay, that's why. After watching it for an hour, I said, I'm done with it. But my last trade here, which came in at 11:05, I took 558, took it up to 570 in 8 minutes. That was good. Injected 55.80, another $120 gain. Okay. So what does this all mean? Well, average 10 contracts each trade. My average investment was 59.65. Total gross gain $780 net of commissions. If I take the commissions out of this, it would be $720 I made. Folks, I hit Okay, so I was working with somebody, actually had a $200 a day. He had a $200 a day goal. His idea of this was, if I can, he said to me, Hugh, if I can make $200 a day trading, that works out to $1,000 a week, right? That works out to about $52,000 a year. Can it be done? I said, absolutely, it can be done. I said, do you have the ability to day trade? He says, yes, I have more than 25K in my overall, my accounts, IRA, Roth, whatever, 140K, whatever he's got more than enough. He can day trade, but he doesn't want to inject a lot of capital. He doesn't want to hold on to anything. Still a little shy, but he can jump in with this. So we did this together. So I said, okay. I said, his name is John too. I said, okay, you're looking for $200. Guess what? We reached our $290 target by the second trade. Sold by 936 by accident. He made $90 more than his target on this one here. Done by lunch with all of this, I made $790, $780, whatever it is, 720. All you have to do is just follow us in the trading room, right? That's all you have to do. Follow us in the trading room. And this was done in the trading room. All done in the trading room. Folks, is this something you wanna, you want to do? Can you see us? Let me ask you, can you see yourself doing this? Okay, if you can see yourself doing this, then you got to join us. Because that's where the action is. It's all in the trading room. All right. So let me explain the trading room to you. All right. And then we'll get to some questions. All right, trading room. All right. So what are we doing in the trading room? Well, I mention this to you every night. Every Sunday night we talk about this. Hosted by John and myself. I mentioned about John Johnson. He's with me in the trading room. Professional traders, myself along with John. Combined, we have over 45 years trading experience and also training experience. It's not just a matter of knowing how to do it, but you got to explain it to people in such a way they can understand. We're empathetic. We work with you. The trading room is interactive. You can ask questions in the trading room concerning your own trades. All right, we fully narrate our positions. This is a learn and earn session. It is recorded, so even if you miss it, you can go back and watch the recording later. I want to explain this. This is not watch Hugh and John trade session. It is actually meant to be a teaching session every morning, 9:20 to 10:30 Eastern Time. We don't monopolize your whole day. I've been on trading rooms on both sides. It's not something where you have to be online all day long till 4 o'clock every day. Not at all. We get in there in the morning, make our money, get out, get on with the rest of our day. That's just what we do. This again is the home of the highly acclaimed 5 to 50K challenge. The cost $6.99 a quarter, but you have to go to customer service at DayTradeSPY. We're gonna get this changed. Let me ask you a question. Would you rather that we just send you to a landing page where you have all the links and you just go and pay for it right then and there? Let me know in the questions box because we're looking to get the people over at Eagle Financial Products to just do that, make it easier for you. All right, and we're looking to do that. All right, so go to customer service at DayTradeSpy. All right, we also have other services too, because not everybody could be in the trading room every day, right? Some people work, some people are running around with their kids in the morning and off to school, whatever it is. So we have a couple other services that are pretty cool. One is the DayTradeSpy Signal. Now, this is the particular option that is sent to you, email, texted to you, to your cell phone, 3 to 5 times a week. The idea here, this algo-based morning trade is meant to be bought right away. With the first, like as soon as you get it, flip over to your trading platform, make the purchase. Make the purchase. There's nothing else you need to do. Make the purchase, immediately put it up for sale for 5% profit target. Walk away and come back later at the end of the day. If it has not sold, sell it at the end of the day for whatever the market price is. All right. Statistically, this has been working extremely well. All right. And I don't have the latest stats on this, but between this and the pick of the day, which is what I'm going to tell you about in a minute, these actually have about somewhere around a 90% success rate. Okay. And if you go into our trading room and learn our methodology, most people have much higher than 90%. And they know how to actually trade this for even a greater return on investment. All right. Again, contact customer service at DayTradeSpy for information on how to get involved in this one here. Now, you can also have the pick of the day. This is a particular option emailed to you at 9 o'clock in the morning. This is different from the signal, which goes to your cell phone, could be any time in the morning. This one's emailed to you, and it's designed to be bought right at the market open, at 9:30 in the morning, 5 days a week. All right. Now, every now and then, once in a blue moon, the trade might be a no trade, but that's good because we are saving you behind from losing it. We're saving you from blowing up your account, usually because of high volatility. Now, these are hand-picked trades. John and I get together every morning. We discuss the trades, okay? And we hammer out all the details, why we feel the trade's going up or down or whatever it is. And then we issue the trade. So at 9 o'clock, a little after 9 o'clock, it should fall into your inbox. And your idea here is to trade this right at the market open. Then immediately you put it up for sale for a 6% profit and walk away. These trades could actually be held overnight if you want. Although I will tell you, most of the time, these also fill within a very short period of time, usually in a few minutes. Again, contact customer service at DayTradeSPY for pricing. I believe the DayTradeSPY signal and the pick of the day are the same prices. All right, so something we started, oh my gosh, 17 years ago, the inner circle. This is where you're going to get a morning market assessment sent to you at 9 o'clock, goes right into your inbox. And it's pretty cool because we do the heavy lifting here so you don't have to. We scour all of the news feeds, the Twitter, sorry, X feeds, Truth Social. We scour all of that out there, fundamentals, technicals, everything to determine where is the market going to go today. All right, we're just not that smart to find out where the market's going to go a year from now or 6 months or even a week from now. We got a pretty good idea where it's going to go today. And then we compile all that, send it off to you in the Inner Circle morning market assessment. We'll also send you a follow-up report later in the day as to what we actually did. And you'll be invited to our Wednesday night weekly meetups at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. John actually hosts that. You can ask him whatever questions you want, anything to do with chart setups or Thinkorswim setups or, Fibonacci, whatever you want to talk about. And he always has something to talk about. For those who know John, he's never short of words, right? Again, he is, he comes from a legal background, right? So this is actually most affordable way to get started, folks. Whether you are a novice or seasoned pro, you don't want to lose the inner circle advantage, right? It's really nice to get this report in the morning because now you don't have to do all that work. And even if you want to do the work, this will confirm everything that you'd found, and you might even have missed things because he gets into it pretty deep. So, folks, again, contact customer service at DayTradeSPY for pricing on this. All right, so let's go on here. What are we going to talk about? Oh, I know what. I had some fun Thanksgiving facts for you. I had some real good fun Thanksgiving facts. I don't know if you knew this or not, but take a look at some of these facts I had discovered. It's actually pretty cool. Um, Thanksgiving, all right. The first one was a 3-day event back in 1621. All right, this is when 50 pilgrims and 90 members of the Wampanoag tribe, I hope I pronounced that right, apologies if I didn't, they got together and I guess they had dinner. It was declared a national holiday in 1863 by Abraham Lincoln, inspired by Sarah Joseph Hale. She is the author of Mary Had a Little Lamb. Now, she had been writing letters for, I understand, something like 17 years to make Thanksgiving a national holiday. Finally, Abraham Lincoln said, okay, we'll make it a national holiday. Stop mailing me here, Sarah. Okay? You don't have to mail it. Folks, I don't know if you knew this. Jingle Bells, the song Jingle Bells, was actually a Thanksgiving song long before it became a Christmas song. That's pretty cool. Pumpkin pie was not served at the original dinner. Only male turkeys gobble. You hear a gobble? That's a male turkey. If you hear a cackle, that's a female. And TV dinners, this is actually interesting. They were invented by a company that decided to sell the overstocked frozen turkeys they had. They decided to pre-package these in little trays and sell them as TV dinners. How creative, right? That's pretty cool. All right, fun facts. All right, 40 million turkeys. This is what happened just recently. 40 million turkeys. Bad day if you're a turkey, folks. 250 million pounds of potatoes, 50 million pounds of sweet potatoes, 80 million pounds of cranberries. I didn't think that many. We had 40.5 million rolls that were made and sold here during this last Thanksgiving. Look at this, 19 million pies. Also estimated $50 million spent on filling. We had 77 million pounds of ham that was sold and 483,000 pounds of fresh pumpkin that was sold for Thanksgiving this last season. And here's something that's kind of cool as far as travel is concerned. There were more than 360,000 flights scheduled across the entire holiday week to get people, friends and family, to their loved ones. Busiest air travel in 15 years. The busiest day was Tuesday, the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, with over 52,000 flights. Big thank you to our flight air traffic controllers for going back to work. After that, was it a 43-day government shutdown? Oh my gosh. I used to say here, be good to your pizza delivery guy. He could be pulling your plane into a landing here shortly. But yeah, that was a huge day for flying. Oh my gosh, good thing the planes didn't bang into each other in the air, right? Over 3 million passengers were screened by TSA on Tuesday alone. Least crowded day of travel was Thanksgiving Day, right? Of course, everybody's home with their families having dinner. Long way to go for dinner. Total passengers during the week, almost 18 million. And you'll love this statistic here. It has nothing to do with travel, but I found this. I had to pass it on. Plumbers have their busiest day, believe it or not, on Black Friday. On Black Friday. Why? Because they have to unclog kitchen drains and carburetors. Yeah, true. That's right. All right. So, what are we going to do now? What do you want to talk about? All right. Let's chat. Any questions? Let's pull up the questions. Let's see, questions. Okay, let's take a look at the questions. Questions box. Okay, what is the total head count in the trading room? I have no idea, Anil. I think there's like hundreds of people that come into that. Quite frankly, I'm busy narrating. Here's my picture. I'm too busy narrating the session, and oh, look at this. What's going on here? This is my. We're babysitting this cat, and she takes it upon herself to walk right in front of my camera here onto my desk. I'm gonna have to. She If she gets to be real bothersome, I'll just throw her off. Um, she's a crazy cat. Don't get me wrong. I still love my dog Lucy. She has passed away some months ago, but missed Lucy a lot. My beautiful Bernese Mountain Dog. But we've somehow inherited this cat to babysit for a while. Cat sit. We discovered something a couple of weeks ago. It's very exciting about cat sitting. My wife said we were going out somewhere. She said, "Oh, I'll put the TV on for the cat. She likes to watch Bluey." I looked at my wife. You feeling okay? Seriously? She said, "No, no, really." So this is unbelievable. This has got nothing to do with trading. We put the TV on. She finds Bluey, some kid's show or something. The cat jumped off the couch right in front of the middle of the TV. She sat there and watched the show. We went out, we came back about an hour later. She's still sitting in front of the TV watching TV. She's been watching TV all the time. She watches TV all the time. I've never seen anything like it. Anyway, um, so I don't know. A lot of people are on in that trading room, right? A lot of people in the trading room. So we narrate everything in the trading room, right? We narrate. So any questions you have, you pull them up in the questions box. In the questions box, only John and myself see these. John and I are the only ones who see these, so go ahead and say whatever you want. All right. Settlement of funds is important, even if your account allows day trading. Okay. You want to have, okay. So if you're day trading, there's this thing called the $25,000 rule, pattern day trading. If you have to have at least 25,000 in your trading account for to be a pattern day trader, so you can go in and out, in and out. All right. And she's now climbing on the back of my chair here. Okay, watch her come on top of my head and settle in on that's when I draw the line and throw her off. Anyway, can see her in the back here. There it is. It's right in the back here. Is it right there? Or is it there? There she is, right there. Um, so if you have in your total investments, put it in one account. I mean, say, Schwab, that's the Thinkorswim. Put it in Schwab. You've got the money. You can trade as much as you want, even if you have less than 25,000. Doesn't matter. All right. Otherwise, you could have a cash account, which enables you to trade as much as you have cash, all right, to fund your trades. So if you have, say, $10,000 or $8,000 in your account, you can trade up to that amount. But you have to be careful. You have to wait until the next day for your trades to settle. So if you trade, if you have $8,000 in your trading account, you trade at $3,000, but you can only trade the 5,000 until your trades from the day before have settled. So your 3,000 now has settled, and the next day you're back up to your 8,000 and whatever profit you made. All right. We go over all that in the trading room as well. All right. Can you open a trading room for a day for free? No, you cannot. You actually have to subscribe, Gene, but all of our programs, and this is really cool, and I don't know of anybody else who does this. All of our programs, including the trading room, have a 30-day, no questions asked, money back guarantee. You heard that right. So you get into the trading room. If you really don't like it in a month, call them up. There's the number on the screen. Say, I'm in the trading room. It's not for me. I want to cancel. Can I get my money back? They'll give you the money back. No questions asked, no problems, no hassles, nothing. All right. We understand it's not for everybody. It's not a big deal. But I pretty much guarantee you're going to learn some. You're going to learn a lot of stuff in the trading room. All right. So, all right. And that, by the way, goes for the other programs as well. Pick of the day, day trade spy signal, inner circle, the whole thing. Right. All right. So right now I see it's 9:07. Let's have a little contest, folks. A little contest. What I want to do here is I'm going to bring up the random number generator. This is the official DayTradeSPY number random generator. And what I want you to do is in the questions box, there's another question here. Why do you bother training if you're making so much money trading so that you can just trade and not worry about training anybody? Well, the answer there is both John and I, we really enjoy teaching other people to trade. All right, it's something we do. It's kind of a passion of ours, and that's the reason we do it. You are correct. We don't have to trade ourselves. All right, but we enjoy it. That's the reason we do it. Okay, so in the questions box, I want you to put up a number from 1 to 100, and then I'm going to hit the number random, the random number generator. I'm going to bring up the generator right here. This number right here is not it. Okay, I keep losing it here. Okay, this is not the number. This is last week's number or whatever. So I don't like this thing here. I actually do. I got to change something here. Where is it? Where's the? I got to find my PowerPoint here. Okay, hold on a second here. There's a lot of stuff going on here. Okay, if I take this off. All right. This way my thing is not going to freeze. Okay. So, all right. All right. So this is not the number. 49 is not the number. So I'm going to give you another 10 seconds or so to pull up a number in the questions box from 1 to 100. Give me your number and I will hit the random number generator button that is going to uh, trigger the number. Okay, all right, let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do I have everybody's number here? Okay. All right, we've got everybody's number. All right, now I'm gonna go here. Now I'm gonna click on the number is 5. The number is 5. The person closest to it is going to receive the ebook. Triumphs and tragedies. All right. Triumphs and tragedies. If it's a tie, both people will get it. Number 5. All right. Let me see. You have Derek at 12. Derek at 12. Oh my gosh. Okay. Derek at 12. And it looks like Derek at 12 is the closest. Let me get his last name before I leave you all here. Derek P. Okay, congratulations, Derek P. The ebook will be coming your way shortly. Okay, and with that, I think we are going to call it a night. The recording is going to be published shortly as well. So, congratulations, Derek. All right, folks, thanks for joining us. Remember, if you want what I have, you got to do what I do. And hope to see you in the trading room tomorrow morning. Been a pleasure.
Loud and clear. what you do. Give it all of you and trust the process and keep your eyes on the prize. I can tell you what I'm seeing. You